All right, welcome to Bring It. We're back from our 2 weeks hiatus. We have Freddie on the upper left of me, your upper right. How you doing, Freddie?
What's going on, everyone? I'm just ready to do a show. I'm glad you guys stayed patient with us on this 2-week break. Don't worry, I'm back. I have more ammunition. I'm ready to go. I'm fired up. If you watch this show or any show on this network, you know why I'm fired up. And you better tune in. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's bring it.
I have Jonathan on my left, your right, Lore. How you doing, Jonathan? You freeze?
Yeah, my boy Jonathan having some technical difficulties.
All right. And then I am your host, Ray Cruz. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm here to talk smack to Freddie and his no-show Lakers. And then we have the new guy, Chris Robertson, on my right, Lore, your left. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good, man. Thank you for welcoming me.
Welcome to the network. This show is called Bring It, and we will be bringing it here tonight. So let's talk about the NBA. Let's finish up with some of the NBA finals that happened. Milwaukee won the NBA title. So let me get your thoughts, Freddie.
Listen, man, everybody and their mama, including Jay Ness on this network, wanted to come on here talking about how the Phoenix Suns are going to handle their business. And I told them, wait, you're talking about CP3. You're talking about CP3. When it seems like he get this far in his career, he always folds. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, listen. When Milwaukee got that one win, I knew starting going there that it was going to be over. Milwaukee wanted to play bigger. Giannis was not getting beat. Giannis came in the mindset of attacking. The Phoenix Suns did not have anybody to stop him at all. DeAndre Ayton was like a deer in headlights coming. I mean, it was just that bad. He was the only big on that team that, to me, Monty Williams did not make enough adjustments. To me, Monty Williams should have did like the Miami Heat did a few years ago, put up a wall for Giannis. He did no such thing as that. And hey, like I said at the beginning, man, and when you're talking about an NBA champion, it also comes with a little luck. The Milwaukee Bucks got lucky because to me, I thought if the Brooklyn Nets was to be healthy, that they would have been there. And the Phoenix Suns got healthy because if my Los Angeles Lakers was there, we would have been there instead. That's just my thoughts of it. But congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo did something that we have not seen since Kobe Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki, and that's for a player to stay on the team that they was drafted by and win them a championship.
That's good. Yeah, I agree with you on that supplement here. But if you look at the I'm going to take a closer look here at the Phoenix Suns and Milwaukee Bucks in that series. Milwaukee outscored Phoenix Suns by 2.4 points. They averaged 111 to 109. Then if you look at the rebounding, that's right there. The rebounding, Milwaukee just took that one by 7.3. If you look at the assists, Milwaukee had that advantage at 23. The steals, Milwaukee had it at 8. Blocks, 3.5. Phoenix had that with 4. Turnovers, Milwaukee 11.3, Phoenix with 13. And we know about the Bulls, but we're not talking about the Bulls right now. But anyway, the 49%, that was in favor of Phoenix. 3-point range was favored in Phoenix, and free throw was favored in Phoenix. But Giannis just had that will not to let that team falter. They got down 2-0, and then all of a sudden we see the familiar of the Milwaukee Bucks in most of their series in this run. They were coming from behind, so that 2-game didn't embarrass them. And now, in my opinion here, I want everybody to think about it. The referee that Chris Paul is old.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Hold up, Freddie. ain't what I'm trying. But do you think it's in Chris Paul's head when he sees that referee on the court that goes through his mind? It could play. Hey, look, it could play mental.
I think it's in
players.
your fans' head because every time you officiate, y'all want to bring Scott Foster up there. Okay?
I don't bring Scott
Foster
here. Up. I'm just asking you. I'm just asking the question. You think it's in Chris Paul's head when he sees him on the court? That's all I'm asking.
Chris, do you think so? You just shaking your head. I mean, do you?
I mean, I agree with it, man. Scott Foster calls 2 games, the crucial game, Game 6. So right there, you know, Phoenix is already, man, this is over. It's on Milwaukee's court. I mean, yeah, Scott. What is it? So what is it now? 0-12 with Scott Foster officiating. Chris Paul is trying to get this man to not call his games.
But do you believe? I mean, to me, my mindset is this: you can every game you play have bad calls, no matter what sport it is.
Oh yeah,
that is true.
No matter. But what did that team do in that game? Did they have a crucial turnover? Did they have a player to do a flagrant? What did they do anything to cause them to lose? You never. I've heard players, I heard people in the media, everybody say you never put the game in the hands of a referee.
Right, but then also, like you said, Monty Williams didn't make no adjustments either. He didn't really make that adjustment on Giannis when he started getting off, and he just let him keep going, and they tried to stop everybody else, and Middleton got hot. And so when you get an outside hot and you get a guy who can dribble in and penetrate, kick out, I mean, you falter. What do you think about it, Mike? What do you think about the NBA Finals?
Personally, bro, and for the Chris Paul topic, I feel like it's like I've had umpires when I played ball, like that I knew, like, man, the strike zone's gonna be whacked the entire night. But it never really changed my approach. It wasn't really like a choking aspect. I feel like it was just like a mental note I had in my head. So for Chris Paul, I feel like he probably looks at it as like, damn, like it's going to be a long night. But I don't think it changes the way he plays his game at all. I don't think he's like, all right, game's over. I don't think he folds because of that. Personally, and you know, Freddie knows I was rooting for the Suns the whole playoff series because I love Devin Booker. I'm a big D-Book guy. And he laughing, but further than LeBron went. But to each their own. But personally,
getting their first round elimination.
I just feel like Chris Paul, it's just not in his toolbox that to just close games out and close out series. It's just not in him, and that's just how I feel about it. I wouldn't call him a choker. I just feel like he doesn't have that, like Freddie mentions it all the time, that Kobe mentality to just close that shit out. And part of my language, but I mean, he just doesn't. And that's how I felt about the NBA Finals. Was Giannis was ready to fold them, like he was ready to go even when he was down 0-2. So it was just that energy just wasn't being kept the same from Chris Paul entering the playoffs to how it ended. That's how I saw the finals.
Hey, Ray, before we move on. No, you good. Go, Chris. You good.
Oh. But you can't say that because Chris Paul is known for his clutch moments. I mean,
no.
That's what he does. He's clutch time.
Definitely clutch. He's just not a closer. Like, he's not closing.
Clutch time. Chris Paul is going to win you a game. If you're down 4 minutes with 2 minutes, if you're down 4 points with 2 minutes left, Chris Paul's going to win you that game.
Are we talking about regular
series?
Are we talking about regular season? Or are we talking about in the playoffs?
Right. So in a game, Chris Paul will win you a game. Shit, Chris Paul could win you 60 games if you want, if you put him around the right team. You know what I mean? But he's not going to win you an NBA Finals series by himself. That's what I'm saying.
So are we not going to talk about my man having wrist surgery right after the finals too?
Man, we ain't going to talk about Giannis having a hyper leg extension 2 days before the finals.
Hey, you know, Chris Paul. Chris Paul to me is not a number one player who can be the number one player on the team to win you a championship. He might not be
number one. Devin Booker was number one.
Right, but in the finals, Devin Booker kind of took that.
And I was just about to say he can't even be a number 2 player. He need to be the third option. His best bet is to go forgive the man, go to LA, go to the Clippers and try to team back up with Kawhi and Paul George. That's his best bet at this point in his career. I'm just saying.
That's injury city.
Hey, but it's the Clippers. But Ray, before we move on, let's hit some of these comments, man. We have Charles Richardson. He said, I had my doubts. I thought Brooklyn had the firepower, but too many egos. I'm not going to say too many egos. Injuries, my friend. If that Brooklyn team was healthy, that Suns team wouldn't even win a game, I don't believe. John Shook says, "Do you think Miami signing Lowry was the right move?" Yes, 100% yes. Because Miami, when you talk about Pat Riley, Lowry fits that culture. He brings in the dog mindset. He's that Jimmy Butler can finally be Jimmy Buckets again.
Yes, sir.
Lowry can set up the offense. He plays tough defense. Yes,
and brings a veteran presence
exactly.
to that team
Yes.
too. With I think
Championship experience.
I think Lowry's more as a team leader than Butler is. Butler can get you out there. He's not really a vocal leader. He gets you out there and gets you buckets. But with Lowry on the team, that takes that leadership off of Butler, letting him play his game. And you might see a different Miami Heat team too.
Right. Like for me, and personally speaking, I've been with Jimmy since the Marquette days. I think of him as more of like the soul of a team than the heart. And I think Kyle Lowry could be that voice. He could be that heart of a team. You got Jimmy Butler. That's the soul. This man will put in the work. This man will give you that effort. He'll take 100 punches to the face and keep running at you. Like that's just Jimmy. But as a leader, to Ray's point, I think it's gonna be a really good season. I think for them.
And then you got Giannis got injured. I thought it was over for the Bucks. That was Charles Roberts Richardson there.
Oh, I did too, for sure.
Yeah, I thought so too. But then all of a sudden he just I don't know. He just
stepped up.
He stepped up and he sucked it up and got out there and played, I guess.
Man, it's a drug test, that man. That wasn't normal.
Yeah. And then here we go. Since we got a Bulls fan on the show, we're gonna go ahead and put this last comment up right here. Charles Richardson says Bulls equal Bulls.
Yeah. Nah, we're back, baby. We're back. We're better than ever. We're coming.
Gonna be in a play-in tournament.
Nah, we're gonna be better than the play-in tournament. We're gonna be a lot better.
So how you see your Bulls lineup, and then we're gonna get to the Lakers.
We talking about the lineup, or like how I see them in standings?
How the lineup is gonna be? Is it gonna be like Kobe White coming off the bench, or is it gonna be
without
the
a doubt? It's gonna be. I see it. Lonzo 1, Levine 2, DeRozan 3. Patrick Williams is a great defender. Naturally, he's a small forward, but he can definitely fill that role as a power forward. I think he'll be fine there. You've seen him. He played great defense against Bron and a lot of other players throughout the year, which is big. Which is big for him. Bron still gave him buckets, but he showed
them buckets.
He definitely showed he could hold his own, though. He held Bron to 20 points. So that's to each their own.
I don't know about that.
Vucevic, it was a great game, or a great center. So, they got Caruso, Kobe off bench. Billy Donovan has a lot to work with. I could see them anywhere from 5 to 8 in seeding.
Hey, before we get to the next comment, John Suggs, I know you've been commenting on a lot of our shows. This is just something that we were talking about in our production meeting on last night. Would you be interested? Would you like to see us in the network incorporate a call-in for fans, like the last 20 minutes of a show, where you have the opportunity to call in and ask analysts on the panel any questions? Please answer that in the comments if you can.
That would be dope.
Yeah, it would be, I think. And
John Suggs posted the Pelicans trade away J.J. Redick and in Drew Holiday for Adams and first-round pick for 24 and 26. Do you think Zion will be there to help rebuild the team, or you see someone picking him up?
Zion's in New York.
Zion's gone.
Zion's was going to want out of there for one reason. We've seen when you're a small market team, you have to make the right decisions. And we've seen them by getting rid of Lonzo Ball, just letting him go, and not getting anything that's valuable to him, and you just let him walk, that's a problem. Lonzo Ball was a part of that little young core that they had in New Orleans. But what's taking so long for Josh Hart to get signed? What's taking so long? Hey, Josh, don't disrespect Josh Hart. Josh Hart is a 3-and-D player. He's a little young pit bull. He's feisty. He can knock down threes. He can play defense, and he knows his role. Why have New Orleans? What's the GM there? David Griffin. What is taking you so long? What's up? Do you really need LeBron to help you make your decisions? Because what I've seen so far, you don't look like you're doing a great job at it.
All right, that's two Lakers mentioned and one LeBron mentioned there, and it's so far from pretty.
I'm just being honest. Did I lie?
No. Let's talk about your Geritol Lakers now. They're gonna they're gonna be the poster people for being gay and stuff like that. So let's talk about them. Go ahead, Freddie.
Oh, you want me to go first? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want you to go. It's your team,
ladies and gentlemen. This upcoming season, we're about to see something that never happened before. If you look in the history of the NBA, it started with Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, and Elgin Baylor. You remember they tried to create a super team when they later on in their career, but unfortunately, due to health, they was not able to do it. Because of age, they was not able to do it. Do you remember when the Lakers tried to do it again? When they had Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Karl Malone, and Gary Payton, they could not do it. People want to say because of age. I don't think it's age. It was, to me personally, that round with Kobe and Shaq was beefing too much. But okay, do you remember the 2010 Boston Celtics when they had that super team there? And guess what? Because of age, they cannot do it. You remember the Laker team when they had Paul Gasol, Dwight Howard, Steve Nash, and Kobe Bryant? Due to injuries and age, they was not able to do it. Even though I'm bringing up facts. Oh, keep that same narrative. Keep that same narrative. My Lakers are back. Rob Pelinka did his thing. Rob Pelinka should be the executive of the year. He landed Russell freaking triple-double Westbrook. Woo! Anthony Davis is going to have his best year this year. It's going to be a phenomenal year. This year is going to be crazy. People say it's not going to work. It's not going to work. LeBron and Westbrook want the ball. Listen, man. Anytime you are a veteran team, you want to win championships. Now, if this was a team 10 years ago, then I can see what you're saying. But you have Carmelo Anthony, who have not won a championship. You have LeBron James that know what it takes to win a championship. You have Anthony Davis, who have pedigree. You have Carmelo Anthony, who haven't won a championship. Listen, I don't want to hear this narrative. Oh, the Lakers don't have shooters. Do you realize every shooter on this team last year shot about 40%? The only one that did not shoot about 40% last year was Trevor Ariza, and he shot 35%. Just keep that same narrative. That's all I got to say.
All right, Chris, I'm going to let you go ahead and rebuttal with that.
Well, on that argument, we've seen with LeBron, no matter how good you're on another team, when you play with LeBron, your numbers go down. Westbrook is going to be a liability already. We know that he can't play with superstars. He can't play with bigs. They're going to clog up the middle, so he's not going to get rebounds. So hang up that triple-double talk right now. He can't shoot. So points going to go down. LeBron's going to facilitate the offense still, so he's not getting a lot of assists. So what's Westbrook going to do?
It's funny how you say he can't play with bigs, but you do realize that a lot of times Westbrook depends on his bigs. He go down the lane, and if he can't get the shot, he twists around to get them to lob real easy. It's just funny how you say that he don't use his bigs. And the Westbrook have not ever had an Anthony Davis who
didn't play as a big.
He never played with Anthony Davis.
He played pretty well with Steven Adams for a long time too, so I don't really agree with that one too much.
But Steven Adams wasn't really like your typical big. Like Steven Adams was letting him get these rebounds. You think Howard's gonna move out the way for a Westbrook rebound? Is AD gonna move?
Well, you know why? Yes, that offense was set up that way. I'm gonna tell you why. Chris, somebody had to explain this to me. They let Westbrook get the rebound because he was so fast. Those players knew to start running the other way because he was going to give them the ball fast quicker than it normally would be. So that's how he set their offense up. So that's why they let him get the rebound.
That's that Billy, and to each their own, but like that's that Billy Donovan offense too. Is really just all about point guards for me, and it's ran completely through them, like every part of it. And that's why I think personally, like not to get it back to the Bulls, but like for the Westbrook point, it was ran through Westbrook for how long. And he's just so used to that. So I feel like get with Bron. You get these kind of scenarios where, like, I know you're 30-something years old, but he still has a lot to learn. He can learn a lot from Bron on how to play with other stars. I think it'll be sweet. You already know how you play with Carmelo. We'll see how it goes.
That didn't work.
Exactly, but that's my point, though. You know
what didn't work?
Why didn't it work?
Okay, see.
Why didn't it work though? You think about
because at the time James Harden was a young pup.
No. Westbrook and Melo in OKC.
It was Westbrook, PG, and Carmelo with Steven Adams.
And when we had that when they had that team, Paul George had his best scoring year of his career.
Right. But my point is, like, and I don't give this to Freddie all the time. It's very rare. So someone screen record it. You know, the thing with Bron that's different is, you know, PG wasn't a leader. He wasn't vocal like that. Westbrook was all about his numbers at that time. And Carmelo Anthony, yeah, he was just floating around from place to place trying to get some shit to stick. So that was never really something that could gel. Carmelo's changed the way he plays. He understands his role. Bron's a vocal leader. He can help Westbrook get into that vibe. And Westbrook understands now that if he don't make it here, he ain't ever going to win nothing. So we'll see how that all plays out. I think it could work if all of these guys decide to just play their own way.
Well,
I'll give you to me the Melo thing. Like, yeah, he knows his role. We saw that in Portland. That's why he got to be signed. But I don't trust Westbrook.
No, I'm not saying I trust him either. I'm just saying, like, you can't really say that narrative's the same because we all see how PG is as a leader. He's unvocal. He's not there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's just a very James Harden, Kyrie type of guy. He's not going to really be vocal. And when he is, it's usually not the most positive stuff. So with Bron, I feel like there's a lot of communication issues that'll be fixed with Russ. And I'm really optimistic about it. But I also see your point. Like, that can go bad really fast.
Well, unfortunately, gentlemen, I have to roll. Get ready for real talk. We about to get heated, man. I've been waiting for this. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be Chris. It's gonna be Mike. It's gonna be Kenny and Jay. Woo! But y'all tune in to bring it, man, because y'all know I had to come bring it. I just had to bring the heat.
What heat? There's more of a Geritol. See you, Freddie.
Y'all have a good night, man.
But anyway, finish up this little talk about the Lakers here and stuff like that. But everybody's mentioned the players, but they haven't mentioned the head coach. Can the head coach transform this team? Can the head coach make the right moves? Can the head coach put the subs in when they need it? Or will it, you know, go ahead, Chris.
Man, the head coach on that team is number 6 for the Lakers.
I mean, that's going to be the question because he's got to make the people happy and he's got to make the rotation. And sometimes he don't make the right rotation. So
that is true.
And the next thing is Anthony Davis. Is Anthony Davis going to be able to, you know, get his ankles together? Because if you look at his legs, he don't develop his legs that much. You don't do.
I mean, we've seen Melo in the gym. I don't know. We've seen AD do anything like any conditioning train or anything. I'm not saying he hasn't, but
yeah. To me, I think he needs to get the calf area on his legs a little bit stronger. He looked like bird legs out there with his upper body. You know, he's got a good upper body and stuff like that. But when you got to go to the hole and you got to take him down, you know, you got to get them calves muscles, or else he's gonna be tripping and stuff like that. So, you know. So let's move on here to our NFL segment. We're going to start the NFL off here. We're going to start with the NFC West. We're going to work our way to the AFC West next week, and then we're going to continue on all the way up through football. So, Chris, give me your opinion. Who's going to actually take the NFC West?
Man, I'm going to go with Seattle. I think there's a lot to prove.
Yeah. You going with Seattle? Do you think the quarterback, you think he's going to be better this year? You think he's got enough weapons around him this year?
Yeah, I do, man.
I mean, I've seen Russell Wilson.
Yes, he definitely has the speed.
Yeah, I've seen Russell Wilson play at North Carolina State University. I've seen him play in person and stuff like that. And then, you know, he's a great leader. He's got a good development. And do you think that if Pete Carroll won't take him to the championship this year, you think Pete Carroll is going to be gone next year?
I don't think he has to get him to the championship. I think he does have to give a deep playoff run, though.
Yeah, because he's getting old.
They're not coming out they're coming out the NFC, no. But I think they can come out the NFC West.
How about the Arizona Cardinals? How do you look at the Cardinals and they're adding on J.J. Watts and with Chandler on the other side and making a good duo there? I mean,
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see three, maybe all four teams out of the NFC West. Yeah, to make the playoffs. But if Arizona does, there'll be a wild card spot.
How about the 49ers in their quarterback situation? You see Jimmy G starting the season off, and then the draft pick picking it up halfway through the season.
Yeah, I think Jimmy G's going to turn around now, get settled in. What's the coach? Shanahan. Yeah, he's. I think they'll finally get like the right place for Jimmy G to shine, and they'll put up some numbers. And you already know they got the defense.
Yeah. So if you're looking at it this way right here, how about the Los Angeles Rams and the add of Matt Stafford and Jared Goff going to Detroit? How do you look at the Rams? I mean, most people are picking the Rams to win this division. So
I mean, like I said, I'm going with Seattle, and I think three will be in the three of the NFC West teams will be in the playoffs, and of course the Rams will be a 5 or 6. So they'll be in the playoffs for sure. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they meet Tampa in a championship game.
Yeah, I look at it this way. This is going to be a dog race. This could be back in the NFC East used to be the NFC Central used to be the black and blue division. And this is turning out to be the black and blue division now in the NFC West. So, I mean, any team can beat any team. But adding J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones on that duo, now, do you think that if J.J. stays healthy, do you think when they go up against Seattle, you think they can contain Wilson? Because Wilson gets in trouble, and sometimes he uses that legs to get out, and he's very good at getting out of the situations. How do you see J.J. Watt holding up for this year? Do you see him getting injury prone again?
You know what? That's why I put Arizona in that wild card spot, just in case he does or if he doesn't. Because we know he's going to miss a couple of games. Like, that's it. You can always write him off for at least 3 games, right?
Yeah.
So if he's healthy in the playoffs, yeah, I could see them. If they end up meeting Seattle, I could see him stopping Russ. But I just don't trust him. His health.
Now, did you think the 49ers made the right choice getting Trey Lance over Alabama's Mac Jones?
I do not.
Nope. What reason do you think? Because Matt Jones won the actual championship, and Trey Johnson's coming out of North Dakota State, a division FCS championship league. Do you see him playing from the small school standpoint? Did the 49ers go after him because Carson Wentz came from that school too?
I don't think Wentz had to deal with it, but just kind of what you're saying, man. Mac has that big time feel already,
Yeah.
Ready to get up there and prove something.
I mean, what do you look at Lance? How do you look at his developments going so far in the training camp? I've seen a lot of videos they showing him and stuff with the first team, and Jimmy G's don't look too good right now. So, and we're getting ready for the first preseason game is to start up this weekend.
And I'll be honest, I haven't followed that much on it, so I was going to wait on a preseason game to get an honest, more in-depth answer on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard in training camp when you in shorts and non-pads.
Exactly.
And you go up and see. Now you need to get them in a game that's actually physically hidden, and not the quarterback's not wearing a red jersey either. So you got to figure out the pressure of a small school kind of guy going into a now NFL type atmosphere, playing big league games now. And you think Matt Jones at the time could probably handle a little bit better than Lance. You think Lance is going to look lost in the first game, and how you think Lance will progress, because you're only playing three preseason games.
Yeah.
Before you get to the regular season.
I'm not gonna say he's gonna look lost. I'm just saying Mac will look better.
How you think the Seattle's defense is going to be better this year, or are they going?
Yes.
What do you see out of the Seattle defense that makes you optimistic of they're going to be better this year?
Pete Carroll. in all honesty, like you said, that man knows that his job is on the line without making some noise.
Yeah.
And I mean, if he's gone, that's pretty much it for him in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these betting odds here. You know, everybody's picking in Vegas. They're picking Los Angeles Rams plus 180 odds. They're very close here with the San Francisco 49ers at plus 200. And the betting odds for the Seattle Seahawks is plus 275. And then you get down here way at the bottom is Arizona Cardinals at plus 600. So now, if you're looking at the Vegas odds, they're not putting Seattle nowhere. They're putting them in last place. But I think Arizona has a better team. You know, aspects.
Seattle?
You know, yep.
Wow.
I think their defense is a little bit better. I think the defense is a little bit better. And then you got Kyler Murray. You know, he's just a little bit more younger and more athletic. But then Wilson, you can't put him out because Wilson's got the arm too. He's a little bit double. You know,
he has the arm and he has the mindset.
Yeah, and Murray is starting to get there, but his accuracy still depends. How do you see Murray and coming through this year? You see his accuracy improving?
I mean, it has to. Of course, it's going to improve, but is he going to improve enough to make some noise? I don't think so.
And then the corner position, when Peterson left, that lays some vacancy with that corner position. I think that's where their defense is going to lag a little bit. But the question is, can they, other team offense hold up Watts and Chandler at the same time? So that, that's where we got to look at the duo for Arizona. I think it's going to be I think that league is just going to be tight. I think one or two games represent from first to last place. And, so to me, I think we got to see what Matthew Stafford looks like for the Rams. We don't know.
How do you think he's going to look with them?
I think he might look better than Goff. But then you also got the Rams defense and Donald there, who's a beast. He was a beast at Pitt's University of Pitts. Man, I watched some games.
He might be the best player in the league right now. So not even about defense, but all around player, just in general.
So that's something we got to look at there. But my interesting thing is, how will the 49ers and Jimmy G look with him knowing that Lance is behind him, even though Lance is a rookie? He's putting that pressure. It can make it a little bit better and more competition. Because, I mean, Jimmy G, really, if you look at it, didn't have no competition. And now you got a quarterback that's going to give him a little bit of competition. So that's going to push Jimmy G. So how do you think, if he's going to hold up this year, or is he going to get injured prone? Is he going to be one of those quarterbacks that get injured prone?
I don't think he'll be injury prone. And what you just kind of going on what you just said, man, he knows that somebody's watching this spot. I mean, that's the situation he was in New England. Yep. I mean, he got his time to shine with Brady, so he knows right now that if he does go down, it's like you said, man, Lance is going to be a kid. He's going to be hungry. He's going to prove himself. Coming out of a little school, wants to show what he can do. Jimmy G knows his job is on the line as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be – I don't see him getting any injuries this year. I mean, I could be wrong, but, that's the thing. You never know.
Right. So we're looking at, so the NFC West is going to be one of those chipping divisions that's going to be up and down. So how many, in your honest opinion, how many times are we going to see a lead change in that division?
Oh, man. 17-week schedule this year? Or 17 games this year? I'm going to go at least 5.
At least 5. Yeah, I can see that. I can see 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I can see them being tied for like 3 or 4 weeks straight, too.
Who you got coming out?
Me coming out of this division?
Yeah.
To me, I'm gonna pull the basement team that everybody said that Arizona wasn't going to do. So I think Arizona's going to come out of this division, and I'm gonna say it's going to be a slim margin, and it's going to probably come down to the last game of the regular season for these 4 teams.
Yeah.
So who do you got? Seattle coming out.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to go with Seattle. You kind of convinced me a little bit more to go with the Rams, but I'm still going to roll with Seattle just because it's who I picked.
Yeah. I look at it this way. I say to me, the way I pick this division is I look at the defense, I look at what their offense looks like, and Arizona's defense is going to keep them in games more than none if J.J. Washington can stay healthy. That's the only thing. If Chandler's out there by himself, then they're going to have no chance. But I think J.J. has something to prove. I think his mentality is going to be a little bit different than he was in Houston. I think he's going to be ready to play. I think he's going to show that he's not on his last leg, that he could still play at a top notch. I think he's going to be ready. But I'm glad to see him out of my AFC South because I ain't got to, I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. I'm glad to see him going out of Houston because he made Jaguar life a little bit rough.
Yeah, he did. He was always there for those games. It seemed like.
Yeah. So to me, that's what I look at. To me, I have a little bit backwards here. I have Arizona number 1. I had the Rams at number 2. I had Seattle at number 3, and I had the San Francisco 49ers because I just don't know if the San Francisco 49ers and their quarterback situation is going to be up for that full 17-game season now. Maybe 16 could have been a little bit better, but you add that one extra game now, and you got a guy who's not really in a big-time conference came out. So, these little small schools, to me, I think teams are trying to find another Jerry Rice out of a small school or a, type deal. Somebody comes out of nowhere. To me, I think we just have to see what his pressure is in Lance and how he goes about himself and matures up in this league and stuff like that. So, who do you have from 1 through 4 out of the NFC West?
I'm gonna go Seattle, Rams, 49ers, Cardinals.
Yeah, he has Nate here, big Nate here on. He's on the road right now. He's part of the network. He said he has the Rams coming out of this division, so he's staying with the favorites out of the.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue it. Like I said, I'm just gonna go with my pick.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at Matthew Stafford, he really didn't had a team like this team of Seattle, the Rams, Los Angeles Rams. So his numbers could go even better than he was in Detroit. I mean, his numbers was ecstatic in Detroit, but he just didn't have no defense around him. Now he's got a team that's got a defense, and now they got a sure enough quarterback. And then Goff, nothing against Goff, but Goff was not ready to be a big time quarterback. He led him to the champion Super Bowl, but he didn't win it. So I think Matthew Stafford's got a better arm, and he's a big time player. I think he's going to, since he might have an O-line now, he could be a little bit better and keep him upright and injury prone. Do you see Matthew Stafford being like an injury prone, or are you seeing him having a great bounce back?
I see him having a great year.
So, and if we look at it this way, so we're talking about the NFL, we're talking about the NFC, West. So, we get into this ram of preseason games. What do you look for on Saturday when the preseason starts for the NFL?
What do you mean?
Do you see what team is going? You want to keep your eye on the most, and during the first preseason? What team has got your curiosity?
I mean, the team that has my curiosity is the team I picked to win the Super Bowl is Tampa, but I don't care about them in the preseason. Honestly, the Cowboys.
Now we'll be talking about the Cowboys here in a little bit, coming down the pipe. So, do you out of all these 4 teams, what team is going to intrigue you besides Seattle? Out of Seattle, besides Seattle, the 3 out of the 3 remaining teams, what team do you really want to keep an eye on? We know you picked Seattle, so
yeah. Your Cardinals. Well, not your Cardinals, but that's what you're picking. I do kind of want to see the Cardinals just to see the health of JJ.
Right.
See, I know that's not going to affect anything in the preseason, but
yeah, to me, I want to keep my eye on the 49ers because that quarterback race is intriguing to me because everybody thinks that Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to make it out of the preseason as a starting quarterback. So that that's kind of my opinion here. I just want to see how Lance is going to perform and how does the 49ers actually look. We're not going to get really a good look because all the starters are not going to play a percentage of a game. So they might play first or two snaps and then they turn around. But that's going to give Lance a little bit more sturdier because he's going to play a little bit longer. He's going to play in that third or fourth series all the way up to the halftime before the extra start. The third or fourth string subs will come in, but that's gonna be a thing. But how do you think about the NFL scheduling with only the shorten up the preseason and then adding that one extra game? To me, I like the extra game because it now gives me 9 games here in Jacksonville because one of the home games are overseas. So, I kind of like it because it gives me my right amount of games here that I'm supposed to have. So. To me, I think that's a win-win for us Jacksonville fans.
Yeah, well, I just like it in general, man. I mean, this is one more week of an important game. I know some of the players aren't a fan of it, but just as a football fan, I mean, that's what we want, right?
Right. So now,
okay.
And your team is Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl here now. At all the teams, do you think Tampa's going to repeat?
Realistically, who could stop them? I mean, they brought back everybody. And, last year was a trial run, if you really think about it. Brady's first year, just getting a bunch of these players. They're familiar now. And, they showed that towards the end of the season. Okay, we know what we're doing.
Now, do you think Father Time is going to catch up with Brady here soon? Or do you think he's going to stand the time of?
I mean, the thing on it, if it does happen this year, he has enough weapons that Father Time might be there with him, but they have a great defense. They have a great run game. So,
you think Leonard Fournette is going to improve a little bit more? Because I mean, he was good up here in Jacksonville, and then he started to deteriorate a little bit, and then he got back down to another team and stuff like that. I think, to me, so you sticking with Tampa actually winning the Super Bowl this year, or do you see Kansas City stepping in there?
Just heart says Tampa. Mine does say Mahomes to get another one.
Yeah, but do you think – so you think we're going to have a repeat of last year?
I think we'll have a rematch, yeah.
In the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But my question is the whole thing is, did Kansas City improve enough in their offensive line? Because that's really what hampered them was their offensive line because they were getting pressure on them. And I'm going to tell you, the unique way I watched the Super Bowl last year, I was in a car. I was driving back from North Carolina, and I didn't get to see the actual video of the Super Bowl. I actually listened to the Super Bowl. And the way Warner and all of them were talking about it, I could picture in my mind that Mahomes was getting crashed on, and the offensive line was holding up in the trenches because everything they were talking about, some of them were up in the trenches. I played the offensive lineman in high school, and I played linebacker. So I know when they talk about the trenches, you went up front. So you think Kansas City has improved a little bit more up front than they did last year against Tampa, or do you say Kansas City might win the Super Bowl? So you think Kansas City has improved enough to clip Brady's and the chemistry that Tampa has now with everybody coming back?
Only reason I'm saying is kind of what we just talked about with Father Time. I mean, I'm just going straight Mahomes versus Brady on that situation. I know you can't really do it like that, but if you do, I mean, I don't know if their line is strong enough to, make that big of a difference, but I think Mahomes will. He'll adapt better. He's gonna read better. He's gonna see the blitz coming and everything. He's gonna use them legs better.
So now,
air it out quicker.
Yeah. To me, Brady hit, Gronkowski a lot on that tight end. Now Mahomes couldn't stand up straight enough to hit Kelsey on his throws and stuff.
Yeah.
So now, how do you see them taking up the corners? Because they never chipped the corners, the defensive ends for Tampa. They always let them, go one-on-one. So you think Andy Reid's made a little bit of adjustment for them to start chipping with the running back so the offensive tackle can pick up a little bit better? Because Andy Reid didn't chip hardly none in that game.
Yeah, and Andy Reid's a smart coach. I'm pretty sure, like, immediately, like during press conferences, he was watching film, seeing what they did wrong.
Yeah.
So he's not going to get beat the same way twice.
So I look at this. I look at the championship game a little bit different, and I had Tampa. I'm looking at Tampa, and I'm trying to see what they're going to do before I can make really a prediction. I did have Tampa coming out of the NFC up to the NFC Championship, and I had Kansas City in the AFC Championship. But to me, I think the NFL is so surprising on an up-and-coming team because surprise a team that we all think they're going to. So what team out of the NFL right now you think is a surprise team and for this upcoming season? You got your wheels spinning there.
I do. I'm trying to think, man. Like when you say surprising me, because if Green Bay does anything, that's not a surprise. But I mean,
John Suggs says the Chargers.
It's not a bad one, but
he got the Titans.
Are the Titans a surprise though?
Nah, not to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to look at, man. Like now, I do think the Bears. I see somebody saying the Bears. That would be a surprise.
Nate. Well, to me, I'm gonna put my team in this little picture. The Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're gonna be a better team than they were last year, and I think they're gonna surprise somebody. And I think they might be in the wild card chase this year.
I can see that, but I can see them getting in a wild card. Yeah, first round elimination still, but.
And I look at this, and this is what I look at right here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've been to their spring practice and stuff like that. Some up and goes list.
Oh wow.
Trevor Lawrence is pushing Minshew. Minshew is pushing Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
So now you got the climax of the number 1 draft pick in Trevor Lawrence, who's now pushing the number 6 round pick in Gardner Minshew. So, I look at it this way: both players are actually playing good in training. I like this. This is going to be interesting to look at on August 14th. I will be down in the stadium when they play the Cleveland Browns, and we're going to get a good look at Trevor Lawrence here in this thing because I think they say Gardner Minshew is going to play the first 2 or 3 series, and then it's going to be Trevor Lawrence all the way up to the mid of the second quarter. Because they have 4 quarterbacks on the roster right now for the pre-screen. So I think that's what you're going to see here in Jacksonville. I like to see what Trevor Lawrence is going to do. And, he's got a big-time arm. He threw a great ball in practice. The defender was on the guy. He threw the ball in the perfect spot, and the guy caught it. And it was an amazing catch and amazing throw. And he can make most of the throws and stuff like that. So I think the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be my surprise of the NFL season this year.
It's not a bad one, but I'm going to go with Nate, and I think the Bears will be.
Bears? You think Allen Robinson and then the quarterback situation is improved with Justin Fields? How do you think Justin Fields – all right, let's put a little comparison here. Between Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Wilson, in the first round quarterbacks, right there, those 3. Which 3 of them are going to have the better season? Because we know Wilson's going to start off.
Yeah.
You know Wilson's going to start. We don't know what Lawrence is going to do yet. We don't know if they're
going to start. And those are the two that I was really trying to compare because I was like, is it fair to put Trevor Lawrence up there? I mean, we don't know what he's going to be doing.
Right.
But if he does have that starting job, I would say he'll have the better out of those 3.
Yeah. Now, Justin Fields, we know he'll have the starting job over Andy Dalton. We know Wilson. Out of those two, who do you think is going to have a better season then?
Oh, Russ.
Justin is going to have a better season?
Not Russ. More Russ.
No, I'm talking about Wilson for the Jets.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fields.
Yeah, him and Fields.
Yeah, Fields.
Fields.
Yeah.
Do you think the Jets kind of did a fool's goal with the Brigham Young quarterback?
So one more time.
You think the injury or whatever they were putting out on Justin Fields did him wrong, and that's why the Jets went with the Brigham Young quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's gonna come back to bite him.
Yeah, I think people put out misinformation on people. It's just cruelty and dudes. I mean, I look at it this way. I mean, you got to let the dude, they put misinformation out there. He has a team. He has a doctor. He has a regular physician. He was with him with Ohio State. He had no episodes at Ohio State with the thing they were bringing up on him. And he has a specialist that's go with him, and he's going to be with the team this year too. So, I mean, he has a doctor to be right there with him. I said this. I think Fields is going to have a better season. I think Fields is going to be way better than Wilson. I think somebody said that Donald was going to crush the Jets first game. Yeah, Donald's gone from the Jets to the Panthers. So, how do you see that fitting in with the, going up against the Jets? You think Donald's going to come back with some inspiration? And
100%. I'm not going to say he's going to crush the Jets, but,
so
he'll do good. He'll go off.
And then Nate says, as a BYU fan, I hope Wilson does well in the NFL. I think he'll do well, but I don't know if he's going to be that one of them superstars quarterbacks coming out. We just don't know about him enough, because I watched him play in the Brigham Young and the Coastal Carolina game. He was outstanding. He was throwing the ball, was doing all that. Coastal Carolina was doing it on their end, but they put a little bit of pressure on him, and he threw a crucial game changing in that game to make Coastal Carolina win that game. So, do you think he's going to be that crucial play that would make to help other team win in that game, or will you see him kind of react to that and be a more positive, just a role player type quarterback?
Role player.
Yeah, I don't see him being a big time superstar quarterback.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Not now.
Maybe 3 or 4 years down the road.
Yeah.
Because usually the maturity of a quarterback in the NFL goes, you're either in your 3rd or 4th year, you get a maturity of a quarterback feel, and you should know the game by good. To me, I think that Lawrence is going to be good. I think it'd be helpful for Lawrence as probably sit out the first year, study under Minshew, unless Minshew gets certain games that he can't win and Urban Meyer decides to give it. So now the big talk around here in Jacksonville is Tebow. You think Tebow is making the team as a tight end?
For box office?
Well,
is it for ability? Probably not. But I mean, people are gonna, they'll do it for people to talk about it.
Yeah, he made some great plays and surprised me a little bit in training camp. He made some great plays out there in training camp too. But I think, to me, that reports are going around that Tebow is in the lead of the tight ends up in the depth chart. We don't really have any good tight ends here. So I mean, he could be, but to me, I got to see Tebow do more than just pass catch. I got to see him blocking in the run game, because if you put him out there just to catch balls, every team's gonna know when they're passing because they got him in the game. So I got to see him in the run blocking type game too. So that's what I'm gonna look in. That's another key I'm gonna look into. So I mean, we had a lot of talks around here. I think John Suggs says Donald's going to crush the Jets' first game. So, yeah, we already read that. And then Coastal Carolina and Liberty defense lines were some of the best lines last year. I think Wilson will be good, giving him 2 to 3 years. And I think he agreed with us too. So
that's kind of what we said, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you expect? How do you expect Brady to be doing all like his regular all pro, having his numbers, or are you going to see his number decline a little bit and be handed off to him a little bit more on the running game? Or we're going to see a big balance?
I think it'll be a good balance. It'll probably be a heavier run just because, I mean, Brady's 44 now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he doesn't look it, but he is 44. I mean, he can't air it out all the time. Don't run heavy enough so when he does need to, he can air it out.
Yeah, and John Suggs did lead. They did pick up a good running back out of University of North Carolina. I mean, they had a two-headed monster at my. I'm a big Tar Heel fan too, so I'm from North Carolina.
Okay.
So it did pick up my 2 big running backs that one of the running backs and stuff like that. So I think they will have a good balance.
That's the thing I said too. Talk about that 2-headed monster. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, do you think Williams and Fournette are going to be a similar type runners, or are they going to be one? I mean, are they going to be a little bit of a different balance there, or are we going to see the same running schemes for both players?
I mean, it's gonna have to be different for it to work, eventually.
I mean, Fournette can play every down. I mean, he can catch the ball out too. So I mean, and then Williams is. But
do you want him on every? Do you need him on every down though, so you can bring Williams in? I mean,
no. To me, you got to with Fournette, you got to limit his carries early in the season.
Exactly.
Let him get strong because he is tended to get injury prone if you run him too much. So with make sure Williams can run inside or outside because he's got the power and the speed. But Williams really don't have a breakaway speed, and Fournette doesn't either. So I mean, they're typically a little bit thing. I think Fournette might be a little bit more faster because he's slimmed down a little bit more. But
you can have Williams in first and second, down.
Yeah.
Hopefully get, short yardage, bring Williams in for those 3rd and 3s, third and 4s or whatever.
And goal line.
But yeah, I'm definitely not gonna have Fournette out there taking a lot of hits.
Yeah. That's another thing too about the NFL season here. It's a very lot of players that are coming out of college from the past season who had great college forte, where their games translate into the NFL now. I mean, we know we can sit here and pick on people saying that they're going to be good and stuff like that. Do you think they're going to be that good? You think that game will translate to the NFL game? All the rookies that are coming in.
Not all of them, no. I mean, but that happens every year. I mean, how often is it that we see a player, who's like great in college and they come to the NFL, and they're necessarily a bust. It's just a different style that they're used to.
Yeah. So who do you think is going to be the Ryan Lee for this draft class? we got about 30. We got about 30 seconds here before we.
Honestly, I don't have a pick on one. I don't want to put that. I want to put that juju on nobody, man. I hope everybody does good, but.
How about all right, we got real quick. How about the Madden curse? We're going to see a Madden curse this year on the front cover of Madden because everybody.
Brady or Mahomes? No.
Yeah. Every time
it'll be the Super Bowl this year.
Every time somebody gets on that cover, it's always they talk about the Madden curse. So, did he curse them too?
No, not this year.
So you think the curse is going to be broken with those two?
Yes, it has to be, man. Because we'll see them in the Super Bowl.
All right, man. My name is Ray. This is Chris. This is Bring It. And see you next Monday. Have a good night.